Welcome and welcome back. I'm B, and today we're discussing from season 3, episode 4. We start off where we left off in episode 3. The ambulance is in front of the big tree, blocking the road, and the crows are circling them. Tabitha is looking in disbelief. She's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're back here. And of course, they're not listening to her that taking another route is not going to work. We're back at the house with annoying ass Jim and his children. Ethan hears the phone ring and it's fake ass Thomas from the beyond. Thomas tells Ethan that Tabby's in an ambulance and that he has to help her. So, is this a good entity that's trying to help them? It seems like we're leading towards this entity that's on the phone is probably good, but we'll see. Jim reacts to the phone call by pulling the phone out the wall, like that's supposed to help with anything. But I am glad that Ethan told Jim what Thomas said because we do need that communication going in this town. Now we're back at Colony House, and I am so glad that Bacta told that annoying lady that she ain't picking up the crow. Like, who the hell are you talking to? Like you cannot boss me around. Who are you? And Bacta is smart because she's like, I don't want no parts of this bird situation. And why are you doing tarot readings in this place anyway, Tilly? Victor and Sarah build a fort. He tells Sarah that he and Eloise used to play in the houses during the day and hide at night. Victor said that they died meeting his sister and his mother. I thought it wasn't clear last season whether Eloise died or not, so maybe I missed something, but Victor confirmed that she did die. Victor has no filter talking about he didn't murder them like Sarah murdered her brother. And she actually killed him. She didn't murder him because it wasn't intentional, but still. Victor knows that he has to remember what happened because things are changing in Fromville. We're back to the ambulance and now it's dark. And I'm glad that Tabitha was trying to convince them to drive to the town, saying that the people can help them get back on track. And I know that this is all a part of the show, but the EMTs and the officer was really, really getting on my nerves. Anyway, we get to Boyd and Randall, and they are in the bus, and Boyd is trying to observe the monsters, but none of them have come out yet. Randall has become kind of an expert in the monsters' behavior at night because he can see them. He tells Boyd that the monsters have a routine, but tonight the monsters have gone off script. And then we go to Kenny, Christy, and Jade, who are waiting out the night at the lake. And finally, Jade is communicating about the hallucinations with the others. So we'll see if anything comes about him communicating with them, and maybe we'll get some answers about some of these hallucinations. So back to a more important scene. Victor talks about the night and the day after everyone in town was killed. He revealed that the boy in white was with him all the years that he was there alone. He said that the boy in white instructed him to gather important things from the dead and bury those since Victor couldn't bury the bodies on his own. Now, Victor doesn't want to be alone to remember the bad stuff. And he said that he chose Sarah because she's the scariest person in town. I really wish that more time was given to the scenes with Victor. I find his character very interesting, and his story out of everyone else's is really compelling. Like, I wish they would cut out some of the filler scenes and let's develop Victor more. I hope they do that in upcoming episodes. So the ambulance makes it to town, and the EMTs and the officer refuses to listen to Tabby. And I know that Tabitha was trying, but she could have just been like, you know what, you can find out for yourself. I'm going to sit in this ambulance and lock the door while you go out there and fool around with the monsters. The EMTs get eaten by the monster that was putting on quite a performance. So now that the EMTs are dead, I have more hope that Christy's going to live. Jim and the children see the ambulance outside, and so does Boyd and Randall. And while that's happening, the officer makes it to Colony House. And she's just shooting her gun off, and a bullet ricochets off of something and goes through the glass and hits that annoying lady from earlier that was trying to boss Bacta around. And I knew there was a reason that they were showing this random lady more. It was a setup for her death. Anyway, Nurse Marielle is there to the rescue. And back in town, Randall is getting a toolkit off the bus to get the handcuffs off of Tabitha, and he's surrounded by monsters. He's about to run back to the bus when the cicadas attack him. And the monster has the keys to the ambulance and tells Boyd that he needs to make a choice. And of course, Boyd takes the keys to save Tabitha, Jim, and himself. And I don't blame Boyd at all for making that decision. It's not just because I don't like Randall. I think one, it's better to save more people than one. Two, Jim and Tabitha's children would be without parents, even though they're not really around that much, but still. And three, Boyd knew them longer than hot headed Randall, so I think his decision makes sense. So they drive the ambulance to Colony House, and everyone is shocked to see that Tabitha is still alive. And then we see Elgin is talking to Kooky Tilly, who thinks that the crow might have been a sign. And I'm just like, you think, Tilly? Then Elgin sees the ghoul apparition and it says, "Help me, please." And I'm really starting to warm to the idea that the ghoul is Fatima. It seems like Elgin may be clairvoyant and is seeing a future Fatima that has turned into a monster. So we're going to fast forward through Ethan and Julie's pointless scene because Julie didn't really reveal anything about what she's currently experiencing. So back to Victor and Sarah. Victor throws a tantrum because he gets scared from all of the memories that are starting to come up for him. And I'm just wondering, did Fromville didn't trap a trauma therapist? Because Victor would really benefit from EMDR to help with his trauma and to get those memories out. So after Sarah calms Victor down, he gives us more information on Christopher. So he was their friend. He made people in town laugh with his ventriloquist Jasper. Then something changed and Christopher didn't make people laugh anymore. Victor saw Jasper talking back to Christopher one day and he believes that Jasper has the answers. And Jasper probably does have the answers. Anything is possible in Fromville. Then the annoying girl's name, her name is Nikki. I forgot what her name was earlier. And she dies, which causes Boyd to go off on the officer. So he's losing his cool in front of everyone, which isn't a good thing for the town folk to see. So Donna pulls Boyd aside to another room and she starts crying. She just breaks down because she's scared. And we see that the two town leaders are losing it, and that is completely understandable. As I've said before, I wish there were others who would step up instead of everything being put on Boyd's shoulders, and sometimes Donna too. So finally, we get to Fatima and Ellis, and they take Nikki's body into a bedroom, and Fatima wanted to be alone with her. And I already knew that something was up when she requested to have some alone time with her. So Fatima starts digging in her bullet wound and she's licking up her blood. And I thought she was about to chomp down on her. I think it's obvious at this point that Fatima is either carrying a monster baby or she's turning into a monster herself. And then we cut to Boyd and Donna looking out the window where we see Randall on the ambulance. What do y'all think Randall's fate is going to be? Is he going to turn into one of the monsters, or do you think that the monsters left him alive so that he can cause trouble because Boyd left him to be eaten? So let me know what y'all thought of episode 4 in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more horror content.